Hi, everybody. My name is Dawn Reyes, a librarian with Arlington Public Library.
And hello, my name is Loretta Zhang. I am the teen librarian for the Arlington Public Library.
And we're so happy to be here today to talk a little bit about Lone Star books.
Yes, Lone Star books.
And what are Lone Star books? Lone Star books are a 20-book list recommended by librarians throughout Texas. There's usually all kinds of different genres, like mystery, adventure, fantasy. And so we're just going to share a few that we read and we enjoyed and we want to share it with you. So what book are you going to share with us today?
So I'm going to share a book called Stepsister. And this book is written by Jennifer Donnelly, and if any of you know the story of Cinderella and her evil stepsisters, well, this is actually the story of one of the stepsisters after the happily ever after in Cinderella.
Okay.
And one thing I really like about it is that when you think about beauty, right, what is one of the common synonyms that you think of for beauty? Or like beautiful?
Yeah, pretty.
Yeah, and one of the first things that this book starts out with is actually in the kitchen of a grand mansion, a girl sat clutching a knife. Her name was Isabel. She was not pretty. But then it gets over here. Beauty isn't always pretty.
Okay, I'm very interested. I love what they call fractured fairy tales, a retelling of one of our favorites. So that sounds like really good.
Yeah.
So what else? What else you can share with us?
So one really cool thing about this book is that it's really about lost souls and lost souls finding themselves.
Okay.
I don't want to go too much into like spoilers and everything.
No.
But I really like how she's on a quest and she's on a mission, and her goal is to become pretty. And on the way there, she learns, is that really something that she wants, or does she want to be something else?
Okay.
And one other thing that I really liked about this book is that in a lot of stories, you have Cinderella, and she's like dainty and always kind and always generous and everything. And in the story, you get to find out a little more about her and who she really is. So, yeah.
I can't wait to read that one. Because again, I love those types of books. Okay. Well, I read a more realistic fiction book, and this one is The Season of Styx Malone, and this is by Keela Magoon, and it's about two brothers, Caleb, the younger one, and BJ, his older brother, and they're just planning on a boring summer in Sutton, Indiana, because their dad will not let them go beyond the Sutton borders. But then they made super cool Styx Malone, and he does change their life. And I loved it because this boy is just like, I want to do something extraordinary, but there's consequences if you do something extraordinary. And also you learn a little bit about Styx. He's cool, but he's also a foster kid. He's dealing with where he's been moved around from place to place to place, so he may be found a home. And again, why does their dad want them to stay in Styx and in Sutton? You have to read the book to find out.
Yeah, and Tekla Malagoon, I've actually met her because she was at the YALSA conference.
Cool.
And she wrote this book called Light It Up.
Okay.
And, yeah, it was really cool.
I love meeting authors. It's really cool. So Styx Malone, Season of.
So I heard you had a second book to talk about.
I do. I'm very excited about it. It's called Breakout by Kate Minzer. It's also set in the summer, and it's about some kids that they've been asked to participate in the library's time capsule to put things in.
Time capsule!
And Nora, the inspiring journalist, thinks that's pretty cool, right? And her friend, she's an inspiring comic, so they do like parodies about what's going on in the town. And it's a great adventure story. Especially when the big news is there's been a breakout in the prison that's in the town.
Oh, no.
So these two inmates, and so Nora becomes like this investigative journalist trying to figure out what it is. I like that part of the story. But also what I really love is the other part of the story is Edie's story. And she's another student at the school. She actually just moved to the town because her mom moved there because Edie's brother is in the prison. He's not he's not the inmate that breaks out. But again, her dealing with her brother in the prison in a new school, in a new town. And so the book also talks about social injustice, which is very relevant for today. So I just recommend that you read this book called Breakout by Kate Minzer. It's really good.
It sounds really good.
I am. Right. I'm excited. I'm gonna be able to read a excerpt here in a little bit. So
An excerpt from Stepsister by Jennifer Donnelly. Isabel, I'm leaving now. I don't know if I'll ever see you again. Ella's voice pulled Isabel back from her memories. She leaned down and kissed Isabel's forehead, her lips like a hot brand against Isabel's skin. Don't hate me anymore, stepsister, she whispered, for your own sake, not mine. And then she was gone, and Isabel was alone on the bench. She thought about the person she once was and the person she'd become. She thought about all the things she'd been told to want, the things she'd maimed herself to get, the important things. Ella had them now, and Isabel had nothing. Jealousy burned in her, as it had for years. Isabel looked to her left and saw Tavi struggle up the steps to the mansion, limp across the threshold and close the door. She looked to her right and saw the prince help Ella up into the carriage. He climbed in behind her, and then he, too, closed the door. The Grand Duke swung himself up next to the driver. He shouted a command at the soldiers ahead of him, all atop their horses now, and they started off. The driver cracked his whip, and the 8 white stallions lurched forward in their harnesses. Isabel watched the carriage as it rolled out of the long drive, headed down the narrow country road and crested a hill. A moment later, it was gone. She remained where she was for quite some time, until the day grew cool and the sun began to set, until birds flew to their roosts and a green-eyed fox loped off to the woods to hunt. Then she rose and whispered to the lengthening shadows, "It's not you I hate, Ella. It never was. It's me."
an excerpt from Breakout by Kate Minzer. Saturday, June 8th, a letter from Eldie to her brother Troy. Dear Troy, we were supposed to come see you today, but we can't because 2 guys broke out of your prison. Have you heard about that yet? You must have. It's not like people break out of that place every day. When I first heard, I was so scared it might be you and you'll get hurt or killed. We were on our way to the prison when we found out visiting aid was canceled. Mama had her big bag of Starbursts and stuff all packed. We were going to get there right when visiting hour started, but we didn't even make it to the end of the street. The cops were stopping every last car. When Mama pulled up, they looked in the back seat, asked where we were heading. She told them, and one guy laughed. The other guy said there wouldn't be a visiting hour for a good long time. So we went home. Mama just left for work. She says, I can eat your Starburst. She'll get new ones whenever it turns out we can see you. Do you know those guys who broke out? You probably can't answer that. Probably you shouldn't, even if you can. Probably I wouldn't even send this letter. Mama says you won't be able to get mail for a while either. I guess I'm just writing so it feels like I have someone to talk to. Everybody at home is busy with end of school stuff, and there's nobody here. I don't know any of the kids, and Mama's busy with her new job and church stuff. You know that's part of the reason we had to come here, right? Mama's church friend, Mrs. Gonzalez, moved here last fall so she could visit her husband more, and she said Mama and I should come too. That wasn't supposed to happen, though. We were supposed to stay in Bronx. I was supposed to go to Morgan Academy, this fancy school you have to apply to get into. And everything was going to be great. Mama was going to be 10 kinds of proud, only then I didn't get in. I worked so hard on that application and wrote it all fancy. I wrote about reading for the stars and working hard and being grateful for opportunities.
exactly what I figured they wanted at a school like that. But then a letter came in the mail saying I didn't get in. I still don't get it. My grades and test scores, everything was fine. I guess they didn't like my essay or something. Mama decided that letter was God's will, telling her we ought to be moved out here to be closer to you and Mrs. G after all. So here we are. And now she can't see you anyway because of those guys got out. I hope you don't know those two. I hope it happened far away from you because it sounds like the kind of thing that can get everyone in trouble. And you probably don't need more trouble than you already are. None of us do.
Okay, so that excerpt from Breakout sounded really interesting, and I really want to read it now.
I know, and I really liked your part that you read about your book, Stepsisters. So, again, I hope you guys will read these books or any of the other Lone Star books that we have here at the library.
Yeah, so thank you for listening in. My name is Loretta Zhang. Again, I'm the teen librarian for the Arlington Public Library, and I'm based at the Downtown Library.
And I'm Dawn Reyes, another librarian at one of the branches, Lake Arlington. But again, we would love you to come visit any of the libraries and again, check out one of the Lone Star books. But also, Loretta, you're going to be doing some really fun stuff coming up this fall and winter for teens, right?
I am. Okay, so the room that we are actually in right now is a study room. And one thing that we've noticed is that for a lot of students who want to study, use like a study room or something, but aren't able to, we reserve the study rooms for teens. So they don't need to have a library card. They just need to show up, be a teen, and then come to the downtown library. And
Cool.
I know, we reserve it for them, so if they want to study and use it for like groups or meetings or anything, they can go ahead and do that. We have cleaning materials and stuff.
Good.
And
the branches don't have study rooms, so this is cool that you get to come to downtown.
yeah, and you can see there's even a TV behind me, so if I want to like practice a presentation or something, I would be able to do that. We're also having our own Discord and everything.
Okay.
We'll be doing programs there.
Tell me about Discord. They probably already know that, but tell me.
So
Please.
Discord is a voice chat, video chat, text messaging kind of program, and it's really cool because you can make your own server, and with your own server, you can kind of set up different channels, different voice channels.
Okay.
So our Discord has like sections for like library resources. It has like a hangout section,
Neat.
a meme section, because I don't know about you, but I love my memes. We also have channels for our programs, so if people wanted to participate in the programs, they could. There's an application that they would go through, and once they've gone through the application, you'll get sent an email invite to our Discord. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Sounds fun. Maybe you could join in that too. All right. Well, again, I really appreciate you watching, and again, we hope to see you at the library very, very soon. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye.